Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 7 at Kentucky Downs on Saturday is the Grade 3 Kentucky Downs Ladies Turf. It kicks off the pick 4. It's a bet you could play with DRF bets, and lots of good things happening with DRF bets this weekend. First, you get a 300% deposit match when you sign up for a new account at bets.drf.com. Second, the 14% takeout pick 4 turns into a 0% takeout pick 4 each Saturday at Kentucky Downs, beginning with race number 7, the Ladies Turf. Let's take a look at this field. And the sharpest horse in the race, and the horse that they might have to catch, is down towards the inside. That's the number 1, I'm Betty G. She's reeled off 3 consecutive victories, and she's really underrated.
Yeah, she really is. I mean, there's nothing to knock about this filly. We'll see what happens as far as how the pace ultimately plays out, but it does look like she's going to go right to the front from her inside draw. And all she does is show up and run really good races. I mean, in a lot of ways, I think she's just the horse to beat in this race.
Michael Maker has a good sense generally of which of his horses will fit well at Kentucky Downs. I'm Betty G has never run over the surface, but heck, when you win at Belmont, Canterbury, and Ellis in your last 3 races, you don't worry about it too much. Did it bother you that last race at Ellis Park, the pace kind of held up?
Yeah.
Bonnie Arch, who was one of the second choices in that race, basically chased I'm Betty G around the track before faltering and finishing 3rd. She is improving. She had her own little mini win streak snapped. I think a good trip could be coming for Bonnie Arch again. I'm not sure she's this good, but you get your price.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that I think Bonnie Arch is the right alternative. Even if you're against I'm Betty G and think that the race will set up a little bit differently here and she'll have to work a little harder, I'm not sure that Bonnie Arch would be the horse I would go for. As far as I'm Betty G goes, though, you're right. I mean, that pace held together last time to win at Belmont 3 starts back. She basically just got loose on the lead that day, too. So she's had things go her way in this little win streak she's on, but she's just a good horse.
The number 3 is Storm the Hill, going out for trainer Phil D'Amato. This horse won the Wilshire 2 starts back, a graded stakes race at this mile distance. And D'Amato is such a good trainer. He understands that Los Alamitos now is running. There's no turf racing there. There are big purses here in the Midwest. For a horse that probably isn't grade 2, grade 1 class out in Southern California, this is a good spot. And she was far from embarrassed last time out against Course Love in Cambodia.
I thought she ran fine last time. Her win 2 starts back, I thought was, a little bit of a nice setup for her. The pace really developed. She got a good trip into it. I liked the win from her, but I think a lot of things went well for her. And I sort of look at her and think, I think she fits well in this field. I also look at her and feel like, I like her a little bit better going a little bit shorter, but she's okay. Obviously, she won the race at a mile 2 starts back, so she can do it, but I still like her a little better going shorter.
No surprise that the Timeform US Pace Projector has I'm Betty G, the number 1 out there on the lead. We've got the 2, Bonnie Arch, who was chasing I'm Betty G last time out up close to the pace. And then we have the 6, Pas de Souci, who was on the lead in the De La Rose Stakes last time out. A race that's come back pretty productive. On Leave, the 4th place finisher, came back to win earlier in the Kentucky Downs meet with a 93 buyer. Pas de Souci sort of just ended up on the lead by default in that race because there was no speed whatsoever. I like her better as a stalker, and this is a very underrated barn, and I also like that Pratt takes them out.
Yeah, this trainer coming off a huge Saratoga meet. He's very underrated. And you're right, Pas de Souci, I don't think she's a speed. She was on the lead last time because there was no pace in that race. They went to the front. She actually ran pretty well there. The pace was soft, but the horses that ran 1-2 in there, boy, they'd look pretty good in this field. They'd be very, very hard to beat. She ran well in that race, and she ran well in her 2 starts prior to that as well. And she's heading the right way, and she's going to get a different trip this time.
Speaking of On Leave, she won the One Dreamer Stakes at Kentucky Downs earlier this meet, and she only beat Dubara by 3/4 of a length. I thought that was a good performance for Dubara. And Brendan Walsh is wheeling back on short notice. This is something he doesn't do very often. He must feel like this filly is doing well. You can't pass up a chance for this kind of money.
Yeah, I mean, the purses are too good, and she did run well last time. I personally think she's going to have to run better than that against this field, but I have no problem with Brendan Walsh. He was a really smart guy and is willing to take a shot with her. I have no problem with him doing this. I don't love the race she's coming out of. I thought she ran fine last time. I think she's going to run better than that.
First time turf for the 5, Valadorna, who has shown some quality on the main track. She is a graded stakes winner on dirt. She won the Double Dog Dare 2 starts back, and she was just up against it going 9 furlongs in the Fleur de Lis last time out. From a turf perspective, Curlin's do okay, 13% first time turf runners. The Dam has foaled 1 turf winner from 2 runners. But I look at this pedigree mostly on the female family, and I think dirt.
I agree with that. I mean, I get that she just became a graded stakes winner on the dirt 2 starts back. I think they're switching surfaces here, just taking a shot, because if she was a promising horse as a younger horse, she never really panned out as a dirt horse. I think they're just taking a shot here.
Mark Casse does have some pretty good numbers, limited positive data with dirt to turf routers over the past few years, coming off 2 to 4 month layoffs like Valladorna, 23% winners and a positive return on investment. Let's talk a little bit about Insta Irma, another Southern California invader, this time for Richard Baltas. Listen, when she was with Bill Mott, she could never get over the hump. At times, she was her own worst enemy, found trouble, very, very rank. Baltas got some really good races into her early in her Southern California tenure. I thought she had trouble in a lot of those races, but it just seemed she was starting to go off form. 2 back, and then I think she was overmatched last time.
Yeah, last time I won't be too honored for that one. I didn't love her race 2 starts back in the Buena Vista. We'll see. You know, she's another horse, a lot like the other Southern California shipper in here, Storm the Hill. I always thought when Mott had her, and I still believe this to this day, that she's better sprinting on the grass. I think she's better 6 or 7 furlongs. The longer they go, the less I like her.
She does have figs, though.
Yeah,
back figs,
really
mid-90s. And you could argue again, Proctor's Ledge, the horse that beat her last time out, came back to run second in the Grade 1 just a game, 97 Beyer. Fault, the horse that beat her 2 starts back, not only came back to win, but was becoming one of the top dirt fillies and mares in Southern California before she unfortunately got injured. Maybe you can argue a little bit of class relief for Insta Irma. The 4 Oh So Terrible is going to be a price in here, and she actually earned a big figure last time out, although that's what I call the old harness figure, when you sort of get sucked along to a big number.
Yeah, that's right. She was in a really tough spot in the Beverly D. She never factored in that race, but she got the big figure because it was a fast race. That's not the race to really judge her off of. You judge her off of her prior turf form. I don't think her prior turf form makes her that competitive.
It just seems like whenever she steps up into these graded races, she's a little bit overmatched, but maybe a horse you could use on the bottom of exotics at a bit of a price. Let's look at our top selections for the Kentucky Downs Ladies Turf. And again, weather's going to play a big role in all of these major stakes races at Kentucky Downs this weekend. We are expecting rain. And I'm not sure Halle Bell, the number 7, is even going to run if there's a lot of rain, because they have options up in Canada in the next week. I liked this horse last time out in the Yellow Ribbon. She ran okay behind Cambodia, a horse that has a lot more experience than her. Cambodia, of course, came back to run second in the Maybe last week with a 96 Beyer. She's now paired up 2 Beyer tops. Will be making the 3rd start of the form cycle. Bravo and Stidham have been on fire with horses like Synchrony. I want to give Halle Bell another chance. I don't think we've seen her best. I think we've seen the best of some of the others.
Dan, I agree with all that stuff. I didn't put her on top. I put her second to another horse in there, but this is a horse I'm definitely interested in using, and I just went with In the Lead for Shug. She's just been really good. You know, this is one of those steady as she goes horses for Shug. She's been good from the start, but she keeps getting better. I mean, go back and take a look at that Perfect Sting last time. She had no chance in there. The way she was run, she wound up coming short at the end. And I'd say this to somebody who likes the winner a lot in that race. This horse was best last time. That race did not set up well for her. She ran great last time.
Manny was just a little bit too tentative, because if he was aggressive early, he could have grabbed that pocket right in behind the winner and made a race of it, turning into the stretch. Instead, he got shuffled back to last, forced to come the long way around, and this filly came with a good run. Beautifully bred daughter of Tappan. I picked her second. I had trouble going either Halle Bell or In the Lead. Mike's going 8-7-1-6. I'm going 7-8-4 in the Grade 3 Kentucky Downs Ladies Turf, kicking off a pick 4. You bet it with DRF bets, 0% take up pick 4. It's a no-brainer, and to add on to that, it's a 300% deposit match at bets.drf.com. Deposit 50, bet with 200. Approximate post time for the Grade 3 Kentucky Downs Ladies Turf, 4:26 Central. Good luck.